What else do you report on now?
Really, just like very random stories.
Like I remember seeing an article by you on the Juggernaut where you're talking about the history of Bhang.
Yeah.
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 Did you happen to enjoy one of the holy festivals here?
The last thing I did before COVID hit was I drank bhang, and man, that was a terrible experience.
What happened?
It's basically like roofing yourself. I don't understand. I don't know. Have you had a good experience on bhang?
Yes, I know. I mean, I've made some very questionable decisions. This one time I went to Jodhpur and, I went to Pushkar all by myself and I had nothing better to do. And I kept search. I always search in those shady forums online about where to find the best things. And they said there's a special lassi that you can have. And it was not even holy. So I rented a big motorcycle when I couldn't properly ride motorcycles. And
Before or after you?
after.
Okay.
It was on my agenda. I figured I would just stop on the way to this place, would serve the special bhang lassi, have the bhang lassi, and then get to the motorcycle. By the time I got to the motorcycle, I was hammered, completely gone in the heat.
Did
3
this
p.m.
end with some Salman Khan kind of situation?
No, it's horrible. It gets worse. It gets far worse. So the bike rental guy isn't trusting me at all, but
For some reason.
But he still wants to make his money, and I'm not even meeting his eyes. I'm just looking down, and my heart is racing. I'm a bunch of nerves, and he asked me to start the bike. I can barely start the bike, and I'm trying my best to just rev it up, but it's just over revving. So there's a lot of noise in the market. Everyone can hear me do that. But then eventually I sort of get a hang of it and I just drive away. Now the issue is I suddenly realize I'm on a bike with a head full of bhang.
Yep.
And I had like a beer mug full of bhang, like not a small glass. So, and it's Pushkar. So have you been to Pushkar?
No.
Yeah, it's a temple town. It's the wild west of many Hindu gods coming together. Camel fairs. It's like proper like deep Rajasthan. And the roads are very small, and there's a bazaar on both sides. It's only one bike and a person can pass at the same time. And I have this fat Avenger that I'm riding, and I just can't even use Google Maps because I'm so high. I can't stop the bike and stand because I feel like all the eyes are on me. So I just keep revving through this bazaar and keep getting hopelessly lost. At some point, I'm in the bazaar and there's a whole traffic jam happening because of me, because my bike stops. So then I rev it up again, and I, like last time, over rev it so much that every single merchant and vendor looks at me disgustingly, or I think they are at least, and I can't handle it, and I start sweating, and I'm like, holy shit, when will this trip end? I was actually basically supposed to check out of a shitty place, drink the bhang, get the bike, and check into his hostel. Pretty simple. But I didn't check into his hostel because I was just in this bazaar getting hopelessly lost. And then eventually I was like, fuck it, let me just use whatever senses I have to navigate. And when I finally sort of came into my own after, just floating through the bazaar somehow, riding the bike somehow, I looked around and I was on a sand dune and my bike was stuck. So, and you could see the rural Rajasthani kids there. I had like basically gone to the outskirts at some point, and my bike was stuck, and so they helped me get the bike out. And then they started sort of like figuring out that I was an out of towner, and I could see a little blade. I wasn't sure. Maybe I was hallucinating. I have no idea, but I could see that their intentions were slightly, at least naughty. At least they wanted to con me of some money. So as soon as I got the bike out, I sped away, but then I realized I'm still on the bhang and I need to get to this hostel. So I found a designated parking spot and I walked to the hostel, and I stayed shut for the entire day till the bhang came out. But yeah.
Yep. Well, that story ended better than I was expecting. Does anyone have any good bhang stories? Genuine question.
I think it has to be when you're in a safe space with many friends. I think that's when nothing goes. What was your bhang story?
I mean, it wasn't much of a story. I basically took bhang, then felt horrible and like couldn't even go home by myself. Like I had a friend, I was like, I'm sorry, can I sleep in your bed tonight? I'm so scared. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, we fell asleep and then woke up and the world had ended and it was COVID. So
Oh shit.
that was my Bhaang story. So it ended worse, I guess. Yeah.
Wait, so you took Bhang on Holi
Yeah.
and the next day?
It was just like Mumbai shut down, right? Mumbai lockdown. I'm not sure the lockdown hadn't happened then exactly, but people
the
are
news
starting to
came in.
panic. You know?
Yeah. So you were in Mumbai at the same time I was, because I escaped Mumbai because I got news from someone who was higher up that there's going to be a lockdown in 2 days.
Connections, very, very important in India.
Yeah. So have connections helped you at all here, like getting stuff done and like just ascending through the ranks of the Western journalistic outfits?
No. I remember I was dealing with some customs problems actually, and people kept being like, call the embassy, call the American embassy, because I think people think that like if you call the American embassy, like helicopters will come and like they'll get guns and anything you want will happen. Whereas my experience with the embassy is like listening to a person just being like, well, we can't really do anything, but sure. So I called the embassy and I was like, what do I do about this customs issue? And they're like, ma'am, to be completely honest, like off the record, like we had to import something and we ended up paying like a $5,000 bribe for this. And I was like, are you telling me I should bribe them to get this? And they were like, we cannot officially advise you to bribe them, but basically, yes.
Damn.
And I was like, wow. I was like,
Damn.
all these fucking nukes for nothing, So yeah, I had to deal with that on my own, actually.
Yeah.